The 2021 NBA season is over. So just to get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the next season. Specifically, who is going to be the best player in the NBA next season. But before we begin, I just want to say that LeBron James will not be included in this video as he is slowly regressing due to his age, although definitely he's still at an elite level, just not as good as the players that I'm going to mention very soon. And I guess Chris Paul can fall under the same category as well. And also guys, go ahead and like the video right now so you don't forget later. With all of that being said, let's get started. Let's break this up into 3 players per level. So our first 3 players are going to be the players who will most likely be the best players going into next season based on how good they played this season. And by the way, keep in mind that the players in each level are not ranked in any particular order. So without further ado, let's start the list. The first one is going to be Nikola Jokic. This was a really easy decision to make since he took home the most valuable player award and was the best player this season. There isn't an excuse for him to not be as good as he was this year. Jokic was the best playmaker in the NBA, and the mind-blowing thing is that he's doing this at a height of 7 feet, literally redefining the center position. Most people don't realize this, but what he's doing at his height is very unique. The only time I remember a player as tall as him making these types of passes and having this type of mobility was around 30 years ago, by Arvydas Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis' father. And would you know it, they're both from Europe. The second player for this level is Luka Doncic. Luka finished top 5 in MVP voting this year, and rightfully so. At the age of 22, he is one of the best players in the NBA, causing him to become one of the most hyped players going into the next season. With his excellent court vision, with the size of a power forward, Luka has already made a place for himself in the history books. He averaged around 28 points, 8.5 assists, and 8 rebounds in the regular season this year, and elevated to about 36 points and 10 assists in the playoffs, although in a very short sample size of 7 games. But as we all know him, if he were to play more games by beating the LA Clippers in the first round, he would have surely maintained those numbers, if not made them better. The third and final player for this level, quote-unquote, is Steph Curry. This was his first full season back from being in the NBA Finals since he got injured 5 games into the 2019-2021 campaign. And because of that, people really forgot how scary he is when he's at his best. And to the normal fan surprise, Stephen Curry exceeded everyone's expectations by leading the league in scoring and beating his own career high for points twice in the same season, with 62 points followed by a 57-point game 1 month later. Steph had been a possible better version of himself in the 2016 unanimous MVP season, which just goes to show that he aged perfectly like fine wine. He also gained a lot more muscle, which helps him compete in the paint to finish tough shots against bigger and stronger players. The next 3 players are going to be the ones who will play great for sure, but maybe not at the highest level yet compared to the first 3 players that I just mentioned. So since we started off with a center in our first level, let's keep the trend rolling and we'll start off with Joel Embiid. Embiid also played great this year, which he's been doing for the past 3 years, but the main factor this year which helped him finish top 2 in MVP voting was the games played. And I guess it also held him back from winning the award. Although this is a close one, I have Jokic the edge here, as he's a better center because of his ability to do it all. Embiid is a better scorer by a bit and far better defender, but Jokic has everything else locked in. This just shows that the NBA is slowly changing. Every single minute, a player becomes better and finally reaches the point where he is at least a top 5 player in the world-renowned league. The second player is a player which might come as a surprise to y'all, but it's Damian Lillard. Right now, we don't even know what team he's going to be playing with on the beginning of next season because of all the trade talks he's been involved in, but I know for a fact that any team he's on is going to be great because of his great performances as a guard. He has a lethal shooting ability and has to be guarded by 2 players all the time, similar to Steph Curry. He's a very underrated passer as well, averaging 7.5 assists in the 2021 regular season. There really isn't anything holding him back from being top 3. It's just that all the players that I mentioned are simply better in one way or another. And the last player for this category is gonna be, and it's actually a tough one, but I had to pick Giannis Antetokounmpo. This doesn't mean that he's going to be the 6th best player in the NBA next season. It just means that he isn't going to be top 3. Remember when I started the video, I said that the players in each level will not be in any order. So this is just a quick reminder before anybody jumps to conclusions. This was Giannis' first NBA championship and he totally deserved it. This was actually supposed to come 2 years ago, but the Bucks fell short in the conference finals to the Toronto Raptors. What Giannis did in these playoffs was absolutely special, and I've talked about it deeper in my last video where I recapped the whole 2021 playoffs, so be sure to check that video out for further analysis on him. Now we reach the final tier/level, and to start off with, we have Kevin Durant. KD definitely wasn't expected to be playing so good this year, coming off a very dangerous Achilles injury, but he did. And not only that, he arguably played better than his previous seasons with the Warriors and Thunder. Durant has had that infamous game-tying shot, which was just 2 inches away from being way more infamous, because then it would have meant that it would have been a game winner in a Game 7 in the playoffs. And just to be clear, it's rare. There has only been one game winner in a Game 7 in NBA history, and it's by this guy.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
I'm a fun guy.
So talking about Kawhi Leonard, just a quick note that he's not going to be on this list because he recently had a surgery on his ACL tear, and it's been reported that he might miss almost the whole next season, so prayers up to him for a speedy recovery. Moving on to the second to last player of the video, and we have a teammate of KD. Pause the video right now and guess which one. DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, or Jeff Green? Okay, just kidding, chill. Kyrie Irving or James Harden? If you said Kyrie, then you're incorrect. It's James Harden. Because Harden took a playmaking role this year, people forgot that he was still scoring. Man finished the season with a 24.6 point per game average. The only thing stopping him from having another great individual season might be the presence of KD and Kyrie, but we've seen this season that all three had a really good chemistry. James Harden has really changed, and he isn't the annoying player that he once was, and this change is for the better now, and hopefully he becomes a better player as well, even though James is still a beast in isolation, almost unguardable. And now, we've reached the last player of the video, and before I say his name, thank you for watching till this point of the video. You're the real OG. Well, unless you skipped ahead. Please don't do that. But without any further suspense, the last player on this level of this video is Jason Tatum. I have really high hopes for him coming into the 2022 NBA season, and I think he can transition from just a star to a superstar, especially by what he showed us this year. He's still very young and has lots of time to improve his game, which honestly doesn't need much improvement. He just needs to be a bit more consistent to be able to take that next step, and I think he can do it. He can take the next step. He has the Mamba mentality in him, the superstar blood, the winning attitude in him, which is key to becoming a successful player in the NBA. Tatum is a great scorer and ball handler, but needs to improve his playmaking a bit more to get higher on this list. And that wraps it up for today's video, guys. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another one of my NBA videos. It's simple. S for subscribe, S for stay tuned. Have a great rest of your day or night, depending on where you live and at what time you're watching the video. And as always, until next time, peace.